Most parents at some point will have to decide whether their kids are allowed to play with toy guns. But today, one family's choice has ignited public debate.
Well, there are calls for new laws for toy guns that look too real.
And I look at this particular image and yes, I find it affronting.
It's a provocative image because of the circumstances where that kid is.
Perhaps leave your gun, your toy gun, at home before heading out into the city for a day out.
And this is the photo they're talking about. A young boy snapped walking with his family in Martin Place recently, carrying what some say looks like a very realistic gun.
If I had been in Martin Place when that kid was walking down there with what to me would have looked like an AK-47, I would have felt very uncomfortable.
Little boys like to play with toy guns, I think, as long as they look like a toy.
But it's got some people calling for a clampdown on replica firearms.
Why are we allowing these weapons to be freely available to kids or anybody without any restrictions? It makes no sense. It's time we tightened up the laws.
And while each parent has their own ideas about kids playing with toy guns like these, police say in the wrong hands, they're dangerous, with criminals regularly using fake guns for very real crimes. Committing a robbery, even with a fake gun, is an offence. But the laws around toy guns are pretty loose. They need to be labelled as a toy or have an orange plug in the barrel. These replica weapons are readily available online in Australia for as little as $20.
These have all the appearance of military weapons, and in a real-life situation, if a police officer is confronted by them, someone on the street, someone's been held up at a convenience store, they couldn't distinguish these weapons from the real thing, and they put everybody at a heightened level of risk.
All right, what do you reckon?
First of all, I feel a little bit sorry for the family who were of the boy who had the gun. We don't know. We don't know. He may have just got that gun from the toy store. You always like to walk out of the toy store with your toy.
What you get, yeah.
So
the location is the issue there.
Yeah.
But I think it has been questioned as a parenting thing, and is it racist commenting on this issue? And I think we do have to set aside the parenting issue, because where your kids can go out in their pyjamas and you don't even notice because you're exhausted and distracted. So that aside, should kids be allowed to have guns that look real?
I mean, I think there are so many different kinds of guns. My boys play with the guns. They're big Nerf, colourful guns, you know, or water pistols. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't know a lot about guns, but that kind of look real to me. But maybe people go, that looks nothing like a real gun. But I'm not all over guns, so I don't know.
I'm not Dirty Harry, but it looked pretty real to me.
I don't like guns, like toy guns for kids generally. Like, I won't let my kids. No, I won't let my kids play with them. For some reason, that doesn't stop them. They come home and they just use their hands or whatever. That's just the way that little boys work, I reckon.
Yeah, I knew someone whose little boy ate his piece of toast into the shape of a gun.
Yeah, right, OK.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing that.
Yeah, pretty clever.
Toast guns are the worst.
That's right. Well, Senator David Leyonhjelm is pro-guns and anti-excess legislation, and he joins us now. David, I just want to go back to the photo for a moment. Let's take a look at that. What did you think when you looked at it?
I saw a little boy carrying a plastic gun. Little boys love plastic guns, and it's no big deal.
But you can have play with toy guns. My boys play with toy guns, but they're big, bright, they're big Nerf double-barrelled guns. It's the realistic ones that, you know, that can cause concern.
Well, I mean, I think like this, you mean?
Like that. I mean, that looks not like a real gun.
Well, yeah, what's the difference between... What makes it real, I guess, is the thing. In the UK a few years ago, the police shot a guy who was carrying the leg of a chair because they said it looked like a gun. Where's the limit?
David, I think it's an interesting situation for you, because I kind of feel that because you're pro-gun, you need to be pro-toy gun. What we're talking about now is not when you were growing up as a little boy. These are actually replicas, and the police themselves have said, we actually can't tell the difference, and they do know their guns. I wonder if it's possible for you to draw a line between what is socially acceptable for kids in terms of this and your pro-gun stance.
Well, my pro-gun stance has got nothing to do with kids' toys, really. I mean, if you can use a gun to fool people who know about guns and cause harm with it, and that's the test, isn't it? So if it can shoot, or if it can be used, say, in a bank hold-up or something like that, to intimidate people into handing over money, that sort of thing, that's harm to other people.
Well, David, it sounds like we're actually beneath all this in furious agreement. It sounds like what you're saying is that if these are seriously a replica, and they do deceive people and the police have a concern about it, then we should be clamping down on it, right? You'd agree with that as a matter of principle? OK. So if that's the case, isn't this really just to be left to the police, and they are warning about this?
Well, I don't know that they are. There was one police officer speaking for the union, I think, saying this is a concern, but he wasn't really talking about police being confused. He was talking about panicking the public. There's also a bit of a tendency in our society at the moment to be rather jumpy about anything to do with guns. We just sort of assume guns are bad and okay, you know, like Mr Mackey in South Park. We have to be a little bit careful about losing our sense of reality, I think.
I don't know, I think people have very good reason to be wary of guns, Senator, but appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
His argument's definitely enhanced by the South Park reference. Anyone who gets the South Park reference in, got my vote. We're going to go to a break.